Alright guys, it's that time of the week again. New comic book days coming up. It's time to take a look at what's coming out so I can tell you what I'm getting. What's up guys, BJ Kicks here. I buy comics, I read them, and I review them, all for your viewing pleasure. So if you're new here, welcome. And if you're not, welcome back. Now on this channel I talk about comics, I do unboxings, reviews, haul videos, and everything in between. So if you're interested in that type of content, you should hit that subscribe button and then hit the bell icon so that you're notified when new videos of mine go live. Now, this is another installment in a series I like to call What I'm Getting, where I go over the comic book solicitations, what's coming out this week. I tell you what I'm putting on my pull list, what was on the pull list that's now on the chopping block, and what's on the maybe list that I'm making a game day decision on. I always love to start these lists off with the book that I am most excited for. And this week, that is Batman issue 112 from DC Comics. It's written by James Tynion. I believe the artwork is by Jorge Jimenez. I just read the Batman Fear State Alpha issue. I just read this like 20 minutes ago before I started filming this video. And because my shop got shorted their DC Comics. So, by the way, random. The Snyder Cut comes out on Blu-ray in a week. But anyway, yeah, so my shop got shorted this issue. And so I just now got to pick it up today. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. With Future State, I was kind of disappointed in it, especially the Gotham titles. Like I just kind of got the idea of the Magistrate and stuff was cool for a second. But because of how convoluted the timeline and stuff seemed to be, I just got disillusioned with it. And then when the Magistrate stuff kind of carried over into the main title that Tynion was writing, it just kind of took the wind out of my sails for me. And if I'm being completely honest, I haven't read an issue of Batman since 109. I've been picking it up, but I just haven't had the urge to like read it. Well, I picked up this issue, and you're good starting with this issue, I think. There are definitely some things that I am missing that I would like to go back and fill in, just because I'm kind of a super fan and this issue was so exciting. You kind of want to go back and fill in the blanks. But honestly, this is a great starting point issue with the Fear State event. So basically, Fear State, we had the Joker War last year. Before that, we had the City of Bane, and Scarecrow is really trying to capitalize on that, trying to send a traumatized Gotham City over the edge and kind of spur the next evolution of Gotham and take credit for it when it's all done, of course. So, well, I mean, that's pretty much the gist of what this issue was about. But I mean, it launched us head first, feet first, whatever, into Fear State. And man, it did it in such an exciting way. I was disillusioned with the Magistrate stuff. It's still front and center in this book. But I feel like James Tynion just decided, you know what? If I have to work within these limits, I'm going to make it better. How do I elevate this idea of the Magistrate? Really raise the stakes, make it matter, make people care about the outcome. And that's exactly what this Fear State Alpha issue did. And because of how well this issue was done, I'm very excited to see what's happening in the main Batman title moving forward. I'm down for all the Fear State tie-ins, so you're going to hear a lot about Fear State on this channel. But anyway, that book has a cover price of $4.99, and I'm just going to get the cover A. So, since we started out talking about DC Comics, we might as well go through the rest of the list. Next up on my DC Comics pull list from Tom King and Liam Sharp this week is Batman Catwoman issue number 7. Now originally this series was supposed to be drawn entirely by Clay Mann. For reasons untold, Clay Mann is not on the book for the next few issues, so Liam Sharp is going to handle the art duties. This series has been a little bit of a slow burn for me, but it's been picking up in the last couple of issues. I finally binge read it all. It's one of those time jumping stories that reads a lot better all collected than it does one issue at a time, especially with the delays. You don't know when the next issue is coming out and so on. But anyway, pretty interesting story. You definitely got to know a lot about Tom King's run to really fully appreciate it, but still good. So if you haven't picked it up yet, I recommend you probably might as well wait for the trade, which at this point will be out sometime next year. But Batman Catwoman number 7 has a cover price of $4.99, and I'm just getting the cover A. Next up on my DC Comics pull list is Green Lantern number 6, written by Jeff Thorne, art by Dexter Soy. And yeah, I'm behind on Green Lantern. I think I've read up to issue 3, so I don't have much to say about it. But it's kind of been it's been hit and miss. So hopefully the last few issues are hits and we end this story arc with a bang on issue number 6. It's got a cover price of $4.99. I'm getting cover A. Next book I'm actually really excited about. The fact that these are coming out in the same week kind of blows my mind. DC, like, who is managing your release schedule? But anyway, this is Green Lantern, the 2021 annual issue. And as you can see on the cover, we are finally going to get a follow-up to this whole Jessica Cruz Yellow Lantern saga that we saw teased in Future State. That was one of the tie-ins or the backup stories that I really liked a lot. And you can actually see that in my Future State Green Lantern review from way back in like November, December. I don't remember. But anyway, no, that was like February. But anyway, check it out. I'm excited to see how this whole Jessica Cruz Yellow Lantern saga is going to go. That's got a cover price of $5.99 DC. Really? But anyway, $5.99. I'm just getting cover A. And lastly, the last book on my DC Comics pull list is Infinite Frontier, number 6, written by Joshua Williamson, setting the tone, leading into the next DC crisis. Like I said last week, Joshua Williamson is basically taking over DC Comics. He's got another book coming out. I just wrote this down. Let's see. He's writing Batman. He's taking the main Batman title over when Fear State is over. He's also writing Robin right now. He's writing Infinite Frontier. And then starting in October, I think, he's got a series called Deathstroke Inc. coming out. So he's got a lot of books that he's writing. I mean, if you want to know what's going on in DC, you better read Josh Williamson's titles. So Infinite Frontier number 6 has a cover price of $4.99. And I'm just getting the cover A. And that's it for my DC Comics pull list. If I just stick to the list, my DC Comics are going to cost me $26, which is half of my comic budget for the week. But it's okay because it's a light week everywhere else. Let's talk about Marvel. So, the first book on my Marvel Comics pull list is The Amazing Spider-Man issue number 73. We have finally reached the penultimate issue of Nick Spencer's run. Still waiting to figure out what in the world's going to happen with Peter Parker. Some people are really excited about Nick Spencer leaving this book. I know my homie Scott from Married with Comics is actually, enjoying the Nick Spencer run. For me, it's been hit and miss. I'm going to binge read this whole Sinister War when it's finally over, leading up to Spider-Man issue 75. But this one's got a cover price of $3.99, and I'm just getting the cover A. And the last book, second and last book on my Marvel Comics pull list is X-Force issue number 23. I've been kind of like down on X-Men since Jonathan Hickman announced he was leaving, but I've since went and binge read everything that Hickman did post Ten of Swords, and I really liked it. I like the way Hickman wrapped up his run. I'm really excited for the Inferno event. Honestly, though, the other X-Men titles have just kind of been meandering for me. So I'm a little bit behind on X-Force. Hope to get back into it very soon. Right now, I'm still finishing up the whole Quentin Quire story arc where he decides he's going to be like just a super Omega level mutant and just be dope. He got a new costume and all that. But anyway, I got to get back up to where I was on X-Force. But issue 23 has a cover price of $3.99, and I'm just getting the cover A. And that's it. So if I stick to my Marvel Comics pull list, those books are just going to cost me $8 this week. And now let's move on to the indies, the creator-owned, the smaller publishers. Only 2 books here. First up is Eve, issue number 5. Now, Eve was a series that I bought on a whim. It's like a little black girl and a teddy bear on the first issue cover. And I was like, that looks interesting. I opened it up and it was really dope. I love the whole post-apocalyptic vibe. What is happening on this earth? And then there was a heartfelt letter at the end from the author explaining why he decided to tackle global warming in a comic book. Unfortunately, I've not read anything past that afterword. So I'm excited to pick up this issue and binge read the series like it's a trade. But yeah, Eve number 5 has a cover price of $3.99, and I'm just getting the cover A. Next up is Excellence, issue number 11 from Image and Skybound, written by Brandon Thomas, artwork by Kari Randolph. Excellence is an excellent series. Pun intended, even if it was whack. But anyway, Excellence has just been dope. So I first found out about this series when they launched a Kickstarter for a deluxe hardcover of issues 1 through 9. So when I found out about that, I made a video, but then I also binge read the first volume of the trades, issues 1 through 6. I still haven't read past issue 6 because I didn't want to I wanted to wait for the hardcover so that it can still be suspenseful when I read it in that oversized format. So I've been holding off on reading the rest of the issues, even though I'm still subscribed to the single issues. So anyway, Excellence issue 11 has a cover price of $3.99. And I'm just getting the cover A, and that's it for my creator-owned books too. So if I stick to that list, it's also going to cost me a total of $8, which brings my grand total for the week up to a very respectable $42. 42. If you get that reference, I rock with you. But anyway, $42 is what we're looking at for my pull list. That's $8 below budget. I'm down for that any day of the week. Loving it. I could probably afford to buy some random extra thing. So I'm sure there's a 1 in 25 variant that will be on the wall. Maybe there's another art box I can grab. We'll make it worth that $8. Now there is one book on my maybe list this week that I'm looking out for this week. That is Black Manta issue number 1. Now the reason it's on the maybe list, it's written by Chuck Brown, who wrote Bitterroot, or co-wrote Bitterroot. Now I've really been enjoying Bitterroot, and so that makes me interested to see what other things that Chuck Brown has written. But I've worked so hard to trim down my pull list. It just kind of feels counterproductive to start adding little mini series right after I cut the list down. So that's why it's on the maybe list, and I might not grab it. But I plan to go to the shop, thumb through it, see if I love the artwork. If I just absolutely love it, not like it, but love it, then I'll put it on the pull list. But if not, I'll be waiting for the trade. But that's got a cover price. I didn't write it down. I'm pretty sure it'll be $4.99. And I'm just showing you guys the cover A. That's on my maybe list. So if I buy that book, then I'll be up to $46, but well, $47 if it's $4.99. But again, we're gonna hold all judgment until we see the book. I want to know what's on you guys' pull list though. What books are on your chopping block? What are you just like, I'm not buying another issue of this? What's on the maybe list? I gotta know. So let me know in the comments below. While you're down there, check out the description so that you can see all the great things. Now this video, I want to give a quick shout out to our channel sponsor, Organic Price Books. If you're like me, you're having to wait for the trade more often than not these days, they're the best place to look for collected editions. They sell omnis, oversized hardcovers, and like I said, trade paperbacks. So you should definitely browse their selection. If you want extra discounts, I'll tell you where to look. Look in the current FOC collection for final order cutoff for maximum discounts, and look in the wear and tear and extra sale collections. Sometimes JP just has too many of a certain book in stock and has to lower that price to get them out of there. His loss is your gain, so check it out. And if you want to get extra savings and use my coupon code BJKicks, you'll save $2 off every order every time. But that's going to do it for today's video. Until next time, I hope you saw something you liked. And if not, hey, that's cool. You can always buy what you like. Just make sure you read what you buy. And be nice to others, because kindness makes the world go round. Peace.